If you want to get in contact with me, the best way to do it is on Instagram. If you just want to say what up, if you want to tell me you love my videos, you can tell me that you hate my videos, but the best way to do that is on Instagram. Peace, y'all. Jonny Fastlane here. So, Cameron writes a letter to 6ix9ine's judge, and Electronica says he's finally dropping his album. Plus, Amber Rose gets a big-ass tattoo on her forehead. Let's talk hip-hop. Alright, so Cameron writes a letter to Judge Eaglemeyer, which is 6ix9ine's judge, right? And so basically Cameron says, "Dear Judge Eaglemeyer, I've had the pleasure of knowing Mr. Mac." Mac is Nuke, right? I have the pleasure of knowing Mr. Mac for the past 10 years. Mr. Mac is a good person and has always had morality in his actions. This is why I can assure you that although he has had recent challenges, he is a decent person with a good heart. I'm sure that as long as Mr. Mac receives the support from people around him, he can quickly be rehabilitated. I believe in him and I will lend support which will enable him to become an upstanding part of our community. Thank you for your time, and I hope that your decision will lend Mr. Mac the opportunity to repair the actions he may have caused. Sincerely, Cameron Giles, right? And this is crazy because Cameron is basically talking, writing this letter to 6ix9ine's judge in defense to Mac or Nuke, right? So the whole situation is that, y'all know, when 6ix9ine got arrested, a bunch of people got arrested with him, right? Mel Murder, Shoddy, Crippy, Ish, Harv, and Nuke, right? Nuke and Harv are the two dudes that allegedly, well, it's not alleged anymore, but Nuke and Harv are the two dudes who got convicted of kidnapping and robbing 6ix9ine, right? And the whole situation is everything was on camera, so it's not like 6ix9ine could say no, they didn't do it or whatever the case may be because they saw it, right? Now it's weird because even though, you know, Harv and Nuke got convicted of kidnapping 6ix9ine and stealing his jewelry and everything like that, the jury said that they could not I guess determine beyond reasonable doubt that they used a gun in that attack because there was no gun recovered and there was also no gun seen on the camera footage, right? So that right there is making, you know, Nuke's lawyer say, well, how in the hell could they really kidnap somebody and, you know, rob them if they didn't even have a weapon, right? And their whole defense was that 6ix9ine staged the robbery for publicity because he stages a lot of stuff for publicity because he's the clout king and he does all the stuff for Instagram, right? Of course, Nuke is gonna appeal, so is Harv, but on February 18th, which is in 6 days, they are going up in front of Judge Eaglemeyer to receive their sentence, right? So here's the whole thing. Now, usually the FBI, they have a 97 conviction rate. So what that means is that 97% of the people they put in court, they get a guilty conviction from, right? But the reason why they do that is just because they're really good at convincing you to tell on yourself. If you don't tell on yourself, it's gonna be hard for them to put everything together, right? So Shoddy told on himself. He said, fine, I did it. I don't want to take 40 years. Just give me 15 years, right? 6ix9ine told on himself. He said, fine, I did it. I don't want 47 years. Just give me 2 years, right? But Harv and Nuke, they both said, I ain't do it, I ain't do shit. And they were not telling, and they said, you know, took it to the grave, well, not the grave, but took it to court. I didn't do nothing. I'm innocent, you know, not guilty. But they were found guilty, right? And now because of that, you know, I'm sure the judge and the prosecutors are going to try to make an example out of them. See, what they like is when you tell on yourself because you avoid a whole trial and, you know, you make their job easy. Now, if you make them have to prove that you did something, not only are you making it hard for them, but you're putting them at risk of losing the trial, and they don't like that. So they are looking at, you know, Harv is looking at 25 years to life for kidnapping 6ix9ine. Nuke, aka Mac, the person that Cameron wrote the letter for, Judge Eaglemeyer is looking at 20 years in prison, right? And this is insane, right? And then also, I thought it was kind of strange that Cameron would write a letter to Judge Eaglemeyer about Mac or Nuke, when I thought that Cameron's relationship with Mel Murder was a little bit more tighter, but I guess not. Maybe Mel Murder's relationship is tighter with Jim Jones, while Nuke is cool with Cameron, right? But at the end of the day, they're all down with Dipset. 9 Trey has been running around in Brooklyn and in New York, period, for the last 20 years, and I've heard songs in the 90s with Jim Jones on it screaming 9 Trey, right? And we all know that Jim Jones got caught on the wiretaps with Mel Murder, who's like the godfather of 9 Trey, at least here in Brooklyn. And then Cameron is Dipset, and Dipset and 9 Trey have always been affiliated with each other, right? So they all know each other, and that's weird because basically 6ix9ine is like a young, you know, off branch of Dipset, which is weird. But anyway, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Alright, so a couple days ago, Jay Electronica went on Twitter and he basically announced that he's dropping an album within about 40 days, right? So within 40 days, I think that his album is actually going to be coming out before April 1st. It's going to be like on March 18th or something like that, right? And this is crazy because Jay Electronica is talking about, I'm dropping my debut album, right? So it's weird because he's 43 years old and you talking about dropping your first album, your debut album. He's older than Joe Budden, and Joe Budden is currently retired, and you're telling me that you're gonna drop your first album now, right? And I'm not trying to, you know, age shame him or whatever or anything like that, but here's my whole thing with Jay Electronica, right? Let's talk about it because he has real hip-hop heads and real hip-hop fans like myself waiting on a Jay Electronica album for over 10 years now, right? He dropped The Pledge, which is Act 1, back in 2007, which wasn't even an album, it was a mixtape, right? It was fire, it was good, it was very short, only 15 minutes long though, and it really didn't have any drums or anything in the music, and it was very experimental, but people liked it, and I liked it too because it was very lyrical, and Jay Electronica showed how creative and how dope he could be, right? He had Erykah Badu on there, and everything was all crazy and good, right? But ever since then, he was supposed to drop, you know, Act 2 and Act 3, and everybody's been waiting for him to come out. And, you know, in the industry, everybody thinks or says that Jay Electronica is a great artist and rapper, right? So he produces music, he ghost writes for other people, and I guess he's just cool with being in the background, right? He's also Erykah Badu's baby daddy, right? Which is weird because Erykah Badu has 3 rappers from the conscious community as her baby daddies, which is crazy, right? The DOC, which is an old school rapper from back in the day, and I guess he's not really from the conscious community, he's more like a gangster rapper, but anyway, Andre 3000 is also Erykah Badu's baby daddy, and then this dude, Jay Electronica, right? He murdered his verse on Control on that song with Kendrick Lamar and Big Sean when Kendrick Lamar was dissing everybody, Pusha T, A$AP Rocky, Meek Mill, Big Sean, Jay Electronica. He was on that song too, and he murdered that too, right? But then Jay Electronica has been kind of lazy within hip hop. Like everybody's like, when are you dropping? When are you dropping? And, oh, I don't know, and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, at what point do we as hip hop fans go, you know what? Jay Electronica later for that. Like y'all got other stuff to do. I ain't finna sit around here. Do you know how much my life has changed since 2007 to 2020? Like I'm not even the same person. Like why would I be interested in Jay Electronica music, right? And then Jay Electronica's talking about that his new album that comes out on March 18th is gonna be a joint album with him and Jay-Z, right? Similar to Watch the Throne, like what Jay-Z came out with Kanye West, right? So okay, a cheat code. So now that you made us wait 13 years for your debut album, you're gonna come out with something with Jay-Z? Like, come on, bruh. And then everybody's gonna be like, yeah, Jay Electronica's the man. Jay Electronica dropped the classic. Jay Electronica did it again. But if you gonna do it once every 15 years and then have Jay-Z help you out, my nigga, did you really do it? You feel me? Like, and I don't want to sit here and shit on Jay Electronica because he's a dope ass rapper, but I'm just saying, like, come on. Anyway, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Alright, so Amber Rose recently just got a big ass tattoo on her forehead of her kids' names, right? Bash and Dash, right? And this is really crazy. Now I want to know what y'all think about this, right? Because, I mean, Amber Rose still looks good, right? Even with this tattoo on her forehead, I mean, she's already all tatted up and she's dope and she's just like a very pretty woman regardless, right? But do you think like she messed up her face a little bit, right? And then it kind of reminds me of that one chick who got that 6ix9ine tattoo on her head. Even though that girl with the 6ix9ine tattoo on her head, to me, without it, she looks just like a regular normal chick. And I'm not really into like normal looking people, believe it or not. Like, I like something to catch my eye. And so with the 6ix9ine tattoo on her forehead, I think that she looks better. But Amber Rose already does not look normal because she has the bald head and the, you know, crazy ass look, and she's just like, whoa, without the forehead tattoo, when you see her in a room, she will catch your eye. So for her to do that, I guess it's kind of crazy. But then also, it's 2020, right? So you getting a tattoo on your face is not that insane. You know, maybe if it was smaller or on her cheek or something. But I mean, she literally has it like, you know, can't never forget her kid's name. You know how like some people are like, hey, do I got it written on my forehead or something? You know, like a funny ass, you know, saying. But really, she do have something like written on her forehead. But it's not like right on the forehead, like underneath the, you know, over the eyebrow. It's a little bit more like where her hairline would be, right? A little bit up. But I don't know, man. It's just strange, you know what I'm saying? But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about everything else. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow me at Jonny Fastlane on Instagram, and y'all already know what to do. Peace.